Hello learners, welcome to the basic course in Assamese. In this class, we are going to revisit the Assamese alphabet to make words and frame phrases and simple sentences using the Assamese letters. Before that, let's quickly go through the two sets of Assamese alphabet.
There are 11 vowel letters and 41 consonant letters in the present Assamese script. The vowel letters are called Saravarna. They are A, A, Hrachoi, Dirghoi, Hrasho, Dirgho, Ri, A, Oi, O, O. These vowel letters are in their primary forms. They have their secondary forms known as Sarasehna, which are their secondary forms. They are the combining forms that co-occur with the consonant letters. Except the first letter O, all the other vowel letters have their secondary forms, namely A, Akar, Hrasoi, Hrasoikar, Dirghoi, Dirghoikar, Hrasou, Hrasoukar, Dirgho, Dirghokar, Ri, Rikar, Ekar, Oi, Oikar, O, Okar, O, Okar. The consonant letters are called Vyanjan Varna. They are Ka, Kha, Ga, Kha, Nga. Pratham Sa, Ditya Sa, Bargya Ja, Cha, Ya. Murdhanya Ta, Murdhanya Tha, Murdhanya Da, Murdhanya Tha, Murdhanya Na. Danta Ta, Danta Tha, Danta Da, Danta Tha, Danta Na. Pa, Pha, Ba, Pha, Ma. Antastha Ja, Ra, La, Waba. Talaiba Ha, Murdhanya Ha, Danta Ha, Ha. Kya, Doibindura, Thoibindura, Antasthoya, Bejanta, Onusar, Bihorga, Sandavindu.
So, we are going to learn in this class simple words using all the letters in the Assamese alphabet, phrases and simple sentences using those simple words, personal pronouns, simple verbs and basic adjectives including color terms, and some common words, phrases and sentences used in our daily lives. Assamese words and phrases used in this class will be translated into English for better understanding. However, the grammatical and functional elements of the content will not be explained in so detail here to avoid early confusions in learning a language. They will be explained in detail in the upcoming classes. Now, let's start making words with the Assamese vowel letters. O. O for Omita, that means papaya. Omora means hog plum. And Oporajita, that means butterfly pea. A. A for that means mango. Ada, which means ginger, and alu means potato. Rosoi. This letter can occur in all the three positions of words like ita means brick, aita means the Assamese address term for grandmother, and I, which is the Assamese address term for mother. Dirgha E. This letter occurs very rarely in Assamese as in eagle, which means eagle. Hraso U. U for wood, that means camel, wood, which means otter, and kauri, that means crow. Dirgha U. It occurs at the initial position of words as in un, which means wool, unnois, which means 19, and urmi, that means wave. Ri, it also occurs only at the initial position of words as in rikhi, which means sage, and rigbed means rigbeda. A for ek, which means one, and etia, that means now. Oi, this letter occurs very rarely in Assamese as in oirabot, which refers to the name of a particular elephant. U, this letter appears only word initially as in ukoni, means louse. Ut means leap. O, this letter also appears only word initially as in ukhot, which means medicine, and utenga, that means elephant apple. Now let us frame simple phrases and sentences using one word consisting of each of the Assamese vowel letters. Let us take the word oporajita with the letter O. Oporajita full, which means oporajita flower. Here, full means flower. Am, poka am, that means ripe mango. Aita, aita ghorot ase, which means my grandmother is at home. Here, ghorot means at home and ase means is or present in this particular sentence. Eagle, eagle akashot ure, that means the eagle flies in the sky. Akashot means in the sky and ure means flies in this particular context. Kauri, kaurir rong kola, which means the color of the crow is black. Here, kaurir means of the crow. Ra suffix to the word kauri is equivalent to the English preposition of. Rong means color and kola means black. Un, moi un bhal pao, which means I like wool. Here, moi means I, bhal means good, bhal pa means to like, and the u suffix is attached to it to form bhal pao, which agrees with the subject moi. Rigbed, Rigbed ekhon purana kitab. That means Rigbed is an old book. Ekhon means one, purana means old, and kitab means book. Etia, he etia jabo, means he will go now. Here, he means he, ja means go, and jabo means will go. Oirabot, tumi oirabot dekhisane? That means, have you ever seen Airabot? Here, tumi means you, dekh means see, and dekhisane means have you seen. Ukoni, ukoni abit puk, means louse is a type of insect. Here, puk means insect. Ukhot, tai ukhot khale, which means she has had medicine. Here, tai means she, kha means eat, and khale means has eaten. Until now, we have come across many words, phrases, and simple sentences that are used in our daily lives. Let us move to the Assamese consonant letters to make simple words using them. In this section, we are also going to frame phrases and simple sentences using the consonant letters. Ko. It is the first letter of the Assamese consonant set. Using it, we can have words like kol, that means banana, narikol, which means coconut, and nak, which means nose. Let's frame a simple sentence using the word kol. Ami kol khao, which means we eat banana. Here, ami means we, kha means eat, and u suffix is attached to it to form khao, which agrees with the subject ami. Kha, kha for khezur, that means date. Makhi, which means fly, the insect fly, and nok. Nok means nail, the nail of fingers or toes. We can have a simple sentence using the word nok. Tair nok safa, which means her nails are clean. Go, go for gos, means 3. Bogoli means egret and mok means mug. We can frame the phrase Tamul Gos, which means betel nut or areca nut tree. Here, Tamul means betel nut or areca nut. Gha, gha for ghar, which means house. Ghari, that means woods, and bagh means tiger. Toi ghoroloi ah, that means you come home. Here, toi means you, ghoroloi means to home, and the loi suffix indicates a destination, and ah means come. Ngo, ngo for anguti means ring, and rongalau, which means pumpkin. Eta dhunia anguti, which means a beautiful ring. Eta means one and dhunia means beautiful. Pratham so for sorai means bird. Phesa means owl, and bihunas, that means bihu dance. Using sorai, we can frame the phrase horu sorai, which means small bird. Here, horu means small. Ditya so for sati, which means umbrella. Masola, which means spice, and mas, that means fish. Using mas, we can frame the sentence Apuni mas khaine, which means do you eat fish? Here, Apuni means you, in honorific form as ap in Hindi. Kha means eat. E added to it indicates the verb agreement with the subject Apuni. Again, ne suffix makes the sentence a question, so it is a question particle. Borgia zo for zeti means house lizard. Zokhola means ladder, and kagos means paper. Using the word kagos, we can make the phrase boga kagos, that means white paper, where boga means white. Jha, this letter usually occurs at the word initial position only, as in jharu, that means broom. Jharna, that means waterfall, and jhulna, which means swing. Ami kailoi jharna saboloi jam, which means we are going to visit a waterfall tomorrow. Here, ami means we, kailoi means tomorrow, saboloi means towards, and jam means will go. Nya, nya for jia, which means dragonfly. Jia tu uri furise, which means the dragonfly is flying around. Here, the tu suffix with jia indicates a particular or definite dragonfly, and uri furise means flying around. Mudhanya to for toka means money or currency, particularly Indian rupee. Potol means pointed goat, and bat means road. Muk do toka dia, that means give me 10 rupees. Here, muk means me, do means 10, and dia means give. Mudhanya tho for thani, that means branch, and kothal, that means jackfruit, as in hihote kothal khaise, which means they are eating jackfruit, where hihot means they and khaise means eating in this particular sentence. Mudhanya do for dola means winnower. Koldil, that means banana flower, and dalim, which means pomegranate, as in dalimor guti ronga, which means the seeds of pomegranate are red. Here, dalimor means of pomegranate, guti means seed, and ronga means red. Mudhanya dho for dhul, which means drum. Dhekia, which means fern, and dhou, which means wave. Let's have a sentence using one of these words. Teo dhul bojai, which means she or he plays drum. Here, teo means she or he with respect or in formal speech situations. Bojai means plays. Mudhanya no for horin means deer, and phoni, which means comb. It occurs only word finally. Horin abit bonoria zontu. That means the deer is a wild animal. Here, bonoria means wild and zontu means animal. Dontya to. To for tola, which means lok. Lota means creeper, and we can have the word dat, which means tooth. Let's make a phrase with the word lota. Halodia lota. That means yellow creeper, where halodia means yellow. Dontyo to. To for tutori, which means chin. Pothar, that means field, and poth, which means road. We can make the phrase Heusia pothar with the word pothar. This phrase means green field, where the word Heusia means green. Dontyo do. Do for domkol, which means tewel. Pudina, that means mint, and root, which means sunlight. We can frame the sentence aji bahut road dise using the word road. That means it is very sunny today. Here, aji means today, bahut means very, and dise is equivalent to is giving in this particular sentence. Dontya dho. Dho for dhania, which means coriander. Dhan, that means paddy, and gadho, which means donkey. With one of these words, we can frame the sentence Dhan Ochomor Pradhan Kheti, which means rice is the main crop of Assam. Here, Ochomor means of Assam, Pradhan means main, and Kheti means cultivation. Dontya no. No for nam, which means name. Manu, which means person, and nika, that means clean. Let's frame a sentence with nam. Mur nam Binita, which means my name is Binita, where Mur means my and Binita is a female name. Po. Po for Pokhila, which means butterfly. Kopal, that means forehead, and hap, that means snake. We can make phrase like Nila Pokhila using the word Pokhila. This phrase means blue butterfly. Pho. Pho for phoring, that means grasshopper. Kanfuli, that means earring, and borof, which means ice. Phoring urise. This sentence may be framed using the word phoring. It means the grasshopper is flying, where urise means is flying in this particular context. Bo. Bo for botah means wind. Borokhun, which means rain, and bali, that means sand. Let's make one sentence using the word borokhun. Borokhun dise, which means it's raining. Bho. Bho for bhat, that means cooked rice. Bhatu, that means parrot, and bhaluk, that means bear. Let's make one phrase using the word bhaluk, like boga bhaluk, which means white bear. Here, boga means white. Mo. Mo for mokora means spider. Mekuri, that means cat, and mati, which means soil. Let's make one sentence using the word mekuri. Mekurie mas khai. It means the cat eats fish. Anthastha za. Za for jadu means magic. Ja means go, and jatra means journey. Let's make one sentence using the word jatra. Jatra hubho hok. That means happy journey. Ra. Ra for Ramdhenu, which means rainbow. Rati, that means night. Bozar, that means market. Let's make one phrase using the word Rati. Andhar Rati, that means dark night. Here, Andhar means dark. Lo. Lo for Lobon, that means salt. Suli means hair, and Lau, that means bottle gourd. Let's make one phrase using the word Suli, Dighol Suli, which means long hair. Wabo, bo for kuoli, which means fog. Daur means cloud, and abek, which means emotion. Let's make one phrase using the word daur. Boga daur, which means white cloud. Taloibbo ho for horir, which means body. Hobdo means sound or word, and akach, that means sky. We can make the phrase nila akach, that means blue sky, using the word akach. Mudhoinyo ho for khullo, that means 16. Bhakha, which means language, and purukh, that means male or man. We can use the word bhakha in the phrase Okhomia bhakha, that means Assamese language. Dontyo ho for homoy, which means time. Hagor, that means sea or ocean, and hahok, which means bravery. Let's make one sentence using hagor. Hagoror pani lunia, that means the sea water is salty. Ho. Using this letter, we can find Assamese words such as hat, that means hand, pahar, which means hill or mountain, and mo, that means mosquito. Using the word pahar, we can make the phrase ukho pahar, that means high mountain or high hill. Kyo. Using kyo, we can have the Assamese words like kyoma, which means excuse or pardon. Hikok, which means teacher, and porikya, that means examination. Let's make one sentence using the word kyoma. Muk kyoma koriba, which means excuse me or pardon me. Doibindu ra for gor, which means rhinoceros, and gari means vehicle. Let's make one sentence using the word gari. Moi gari solau, which means I drive vehicle. Dhoibindu ra for budha, meaning old, and driha means firm. Let's make one phrase using the word budha. Budha manu, which means old person. Here manu means person. Anthastha yo for horiyo, which means mustard. Kuhiar, which means sugarcane, and boyok, that means age. Using the word kuhiar, we can make phrases like mitha kuhiar, which means sweet sugarcane. Here mitha means sweet. Bejanto, to for hothat, means suddenly. Mohot, which means eminent, and sikitsa, that means treatment. Using the word mohot, we can have the phrase mohot look, which means eminent person. Anusar. In Assamese, words like dolong means bridge, onko means mathematics, paleng, that means spinach, contain this letter. We can make the phrase like dighol dolong, which means long bridge, using the word dolong. Here dighol means long. Bikhorgo, we find Assamese words such as nikhek, which means destroyed, and punoh, that means repeat. Let's make one phrase using the word punoh, like punoh hohai koriba, which means help again. Chandrabindu, we can have Assamese words like ha, which means duck, ba, which means bamboo, and gao, that means village, using Chandrabindu. Let's make one sentence using the word gao. Eikhon mur gao, which means this is my village. So dear learners, in this class we have learned to make words, phrases, and simple sentences using all the letters in the Assamese alphabet. Moreover, we have come across words such as tumi, toy, and apuni, which mean the same, you, and ekhon, ejon, and eta, all of which mean one. They have different kinds of uses in the language depending on different environments where they occur. We will discuss and learn the appropriate uses of these words in another class. Let's conclude the class here. See you in the next class. ধন্যবাদ.